Hey guys, today I have an anime review for you. I just recently finished Fate Stay Night, an incredibly good series. I don't know if it's still running, honestly. I know in April 2015 is when they started the second series, or arc, I guess you could say. And so I've watched through all of that. It took me about 3 days to get to all 25 episodes. They're only about 20 minutes long. They threw in a couple 40-minute long episodes, all that, but no commercials, so I don't have to worry about that. But it didn't take me any time at all to finish the series. It's incredibly good. Incredible idea. So the premise of it really is we have a Holy Grail war. The Holy Grail being that all granting wish... No, how do I put this? Wish granting master. It's this thing. So we really don't know what this thing is. They call it the Holy Grail, but it's yes and no the chalice idea. But it is this thing that has taken a spiritual form, and what it does is it creates these servants. These servants are bound to mages that are born into families of mages, and those people are stuck with this servant, and they're essentially their weapon, is really what it is. Once you get granted a servant, you are then plunged into this Holy Grail war. And what was really interesting is there were people that didn't want to participate. There are people that have no interest in finding this Holy Grail, or they don't have a wish that they want granted. And then on the flip side of it, these servants come from other times, and some of them do have wishes that they wish they could have succeeded or achieved in their life. And so it kind of brings together a whole new feeling. But what's great with this is that all of these masters have past and present feeling of themselves, and the servants also are the same. What's kind of interesting is it brings in the idea of time not just being one straight continuum, and there's different branches of it, but it's also that they can connect with each other. These servants can be heroes. They are heroes, they're guardians, they're major icons that we look to. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not just Japanese culture either. We have characters from ancient times. We have a character comes from slightly in the future. Any of these world geography history type heroes that actually exist in our own human lores and myths and all that stuff, they're in this series, and they take form as a servant. These servants also have a special weapon that they can unleash that is based upon them. And what I mean by that is if you ever learn of this, what they call noble phantasm, then you could essentially figure out who the servant was or is in the future, but generally who they were in the past to, learn their weaknesses. Most of them keep their identity quiet, because once you learn who they were in the past, you kind of learn their fighting style and what resources and knowledge they had. So that idea was really intriguing to me, so it grabbed me. But even beyond that, it had a story that was really just engaging. There were a lot of things going on. There were a lot of characters melding together, pushing together, some of them knocking each other off, other ones bonding and forming, alliances. And so you really kind of never knew what to expect. We kind of watched thinking, well, that's great, these two are together, and then the next minute, gone. So it was edge of your seat, It kept going and going, and each episode just ramped up the energy, and then maybe there'd be a slower episode, or it'd explain some backstory, which it had a crap ton of backstory. And you'd watch it, and then you'd be informed, but at the same time, you get a little foreshadowing into what was coming up, because sometimes it would explain the servants themselves. There were a couple episodes that were based around where that servant that they were discussing, where they came from and why they are who they are, because they all had personalities that were different. And some of these servants have seen each other in the past. Some of these servants had seen each other in prior Holy Grail wars, and that idea that they still had the knowledge of them and still had opinions of those other servants was also a really cool idea. So I don't want to spoil too much of anything, really, but it is extremely engaging. If you like a fantasy action style anime, then it's really good. The character design is great. The coloring, I think, is one of the most brilliant things in this anime. It really brings nice contrast, but also symbolism to it. There are parts and episodes where it's really dark and blue, and others where it's blindingly yellow or red or whatever color that they needed to give you that feeling. Because, you know, we still feel colors in a certain way if you think about it, you know. And we associate emotions like anger with red, sadness with blue. You know, we associate those things, and they really play up that idea well. Not only in the environment and its color, but the characters and what color they wear. So you can see my little guy over here. Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, I was like, hi. You can see he's in all red. There's a purpose for that. And it's really cool as you learn more about him and who he is and who he was and will be. Because he's a key player in this. You learn a lot, and it really kind of connects to his weapon, his attitude, and his color scheme, which is a really neat idea. The ending I just finished, definitely worth it, but definitely opens it to more. I know that this anime is based off of a game, and I've never played the game before. I actually hadn't heard of the game before. I don't know if they have. I know they have other story arcs. They have other things that occurred in the past Holy Grails before this. Wow, I'm gonna say that word wrong so many times. Past Holy Grail wars before this, and so I don't know if they're gonna keep making animes based on these different story arcs, or if they're just gonna leave it to this one. They left it off to where there's gonna be more. They really did, and so I look forward to that. Anybody else who's looking for something that's heavy in magic and combat, but also has an incredibly complex story and characters, I definitely recommend this. So that is Fate Stay Night. I believe it has the subtext of Unlimited Blade Works, which is very important, and I think that's the identifying story arc in terms of who's the protagonist and antagonist in those situations. I haven't seen any of the games, but I will probably be doing research into the other arcs and series they have involving the game, and the manga, I believe, follows other storylines. So yeah, this one's available, the entire series, on Crunchyroll. That's where I watched it, so I hope you guys go check it out. It's unbelievably good. It's been a while since I've watched an anime that vigorously and that fast. It might, you know, be close with like Trigun and Rurouni Kenshin. Those ones I watched incredibly fast. This one I did too. So, you know, go check it out. I'm done rambling. You guys go enjoy that masterpiece. DJBawlzy, out.